Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2016 General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, we've got lots of adventurous things taking place, a new moon and a full moon that are going to be felt most acutely in your unique areas of the sky. But I actually think that one of the more important things that is going to take place for you that I've got to touch on is the fact that Mars will enter shadow before the month is over in your sign. What that means is, for many of us, really, I think for most of us, a lot of 2016 is going to be defined by Mars retrograde season. So what's taking place? It is Mars beginning to walk on the path that he will go over again, and then go over a third and final time. So in the second part of the month, really important that you observe what's taking place in your life, because the issues that come up at that time, what are you passionate about? Where do you want change? What's most important to you? What drives you? What motivates you? What lights you up? What makes you feel that you are empowered? All of these, what are you passionate about in terms of, not just in terms of a more abstract concept in terms of what you like to do, but also in a physical sense and a romantic sense as well. So in many ways, it is reconsidering who you are and what power you have, and deciding to exert it more intelligently in the world. So I spoke about this at length in the 2016 annual horoscope for your sign. You might want to have a look at that, because it is that process that actually kicks into gear this month. But as I said, we've got other celestial events taking place this month as well. And it is in the early part of the month that there will be a new moon happening at the very bottom of your sky, the very base of your chart, making this a very important placement. Now, if you remember last month, as we finished last month, we had a full moon at the very top of your sky. So these tend to be like hot points in a chart, if you will. They are the more sensitive areas of the sky, called angular houses. And when we have, for students of astrology out there that is, but when we have a planetary phenomenon, especially celestial phenomenon, and especially something like a full moon or a new moon happening in one of these areas of the sky, you feel it more. And literally you feel it more on a level of your emotion and on a level of your energy. As I look at this for you, it's such a positive new moon taking place. It's suggesting delightful surprises, positive turnarounds, and at the same time, a sense of stability. So there's a quickness to it, a happiness, a spontaneity, and also stability, all in one with this particular new moon. It says to me that good things are happening on the home front. Good things are happening with home. So this can represent your actual physical home that you live in. It can represent also your family of origin or the neighborhood that you grew up in. Also, this can speak to your parents as well. That's what I mean by family of origin. But also this can speak to what do you need to feel at home, and where is it that you feel at home? You have got this part of the sky lit up over the course of this month. And I do think that this does suggest to me that matters of home, in particular this month, are in some way going to inform the larger journey, the larger process that you will have with Mars over the course of the first part of this year, right into August. So you are beginning a process right into August, and at the very start of the process, the energy in so many ways asks you to pay attention to your foundation, asks you to pay attention to the ground on which you stand. What is it that you desire to build? These are all issues that are going to come up for you now. And it is the full moon last month, late last month, that will inform some of your insights. So if you manifest this energy through your living space, this can be a time of some positive changes happening on that front. Someone new roommates, you finding a new place, you buying, selling, all of that. Very blessed with this energy, and lots of lucky energy around factors of moving in general. And as I said, buying, selling, renting, new roommates, finding a new place to live with a roommate or without. Very fortunate for you now. The other factor with this, as I said, is family of origin. And so there should be good news all around there where it applies. And this also can be some very powerful insights that change your perception, that change your mindset around certain family related issues, that help you see things in a more balanced way, and ultimately ends up helping you to grow in positive directions as well. You know, I do think that it's one of those, you know, psychology 101 kind of principles that you're not really, or rather the work of becoming an adult includes, like psychologically an adult includes seeing your family of origin, seeing your primary caregivers as human beings, right? Just seeing them as human beings on their own spiritual journey, equal to you, regardless of, you know, especially I think as children, we can judge our parents really harshly, but a part of maturity and a part of adulthood and a part of growing up means that we move away from judging, and instead we look at them from a place of compassion, of understanding, that ultimately we are all, regardless of what we do, regardless, we all are on our own unique journey. And some people do that journey more consciously than others, but along that way, we're all learning. And if you can see that your parents are human, equal to you in that respect, and learning just as you are in that respect, then that is a real marker of growth. That's a real marker of maturity, especially on a level of psyche. And this particular new moon does suggest an insight in regards to that, that does allow you to feel a whole other perspective that changes something within you in the best possible sense, that changes your understanding of what was, that changes your outlook, and also provides you with a lot of energy and a renewed sense of motivation to own your life, to own your self-definition, and to decide which way it is that you want to go. So it's empowering all around, and that actually is going to be a theme throughout this year, but especially now, this is where the theme really kicks into high gear. So we have this new moon happening, good news all around, as I said, primary caregivers, place that you live, and wherever it is that you consider home. Some of you out there might even be reconsidering where it is that you consider home, and might find home in some very interesting places around the world. And so be open to that as well. See where it is that you are meant to be next, and you will find yourself moving in that direction quite quickly, but also feeling a sense of stability in that process. A new place to live that just feels right, that makes you feel like a lucky person, can happen in a snap. Overnight, things can change for you for the better in these areas of life. As we move towards the later part of the month, we do have a full moon happening. This full moon is taking place in a part of the sky that has to do with friendship for you, friendships. So it has to do with memberships and groups that you might belong to, memberships you hold rather, groups you might belong to, but also like sort of our crew, if you will, right? The people that we hang out with, that we connect with. All of this is highlighted under this particular full moon, and it's an interesting full moon. There's lots happening here. And as I look at this, we've got this full moon happening where friendships are for you. And then we've got the Sun and Neptune in the opposite sign that has to do with romance and love and the feelings of love and joy, joyous experiences. Now, I'll talk about more the love perspective, or the love way of looking at this in the love focused horoscope. But as I look at this, it does suggest to me that with Saturn also speaking with this full moon. So that's for the astrology students, right? That's all the tech talk. But ultimately what this breaks down to for me, what this says to me is that it is very possible now. There's a lot of confusion energy, lots of, okay, truth coming out, and yet, okay, what is the truth? Is the truth going to be what you choose to believe? Like, where is that line? Where is interpretation end and facts begin? So this is all going to be part of the picture this month for you. And as I look at the sky, it does suggest that at least where it comes to your friendships, misunderstandings can be there, so be aware of that. Also, with this particular full moon, you know, I'll just come out and say it. It does look like there's a financial element to this as well. And so as I look at this, I would say, and I want to say, where it applies, okay, where it applies. Be mindful of, you know, if you feel that someone is taking advantage of your friendship for a financial benefit, be aware where it is that maybe a friend might be presenting you with a certain image, like maybe they are flirting with you with the intention of financial benefit, or, you know, I mean, this just looks like I want you to take very good care of yourself when it comes to the people that you surround yourself with. And that's just one small way that this energy can manifest, and we'll only speak to a few people. But at the end of the day, this is about dishonesty and the truth coming out. So where it is, and especially related to money, where it is that a friend has not been completely honest, it will come forward. You will come to realize it. You will come to see it. And that is good. That is empowering. That actually can be very refreshing, because it allows you to know which direction you desire to go in next. But the other thing with this also is where it is, if, again, small percentage of you out there, but if you feel that a friend is not taking, or is taking you for granted in some way, not appreciating you at the level that you believe you deserve, you are going to acknowledge that to yourself and look at why and how this situation manifested. So these are part of the sacred lessons that might come up for you. I'm not saying that someone else necessarily might not be honest, but sometimes it is us that chooses not to see certain things. And so that is something that you might want to be aware of. But at the end of the day, there is going to be a change. There is going to be a shift. There is going to be you deciding who you're with and who you're not, who your friends are, and where it is and who it is that just isn't working with you, just isn't jiving with you in terms of, I said jiving, wow, that's like a word from a whole other generation, isn't it? Okay, putting that aside, this is you getting clear on where it is that it's working and where it is that it isn't. And the really great thing you will find, I know people out there, friends and fans out there, of all ranges of ages. I know that. That's amazing. I am so grateful for all of you out there. But I do also know that the older you get, right, the really great thing about getting older, there's a whole lot of things that are amazing about getting older. But I will say one of the really, really great things is as you get older, you really come to realize that those people who, you know, brought a lot of drama into your life, brought a lot of energy into your life that, you know, didn't really work with you, or, you know, were just kind of draining you. Those people, as the older you get, the fewer and fewer of them there are, and the more of them leave. And that's one of many, many amazing things about getting older. And so this is part of that maturity process, especially for some of you out there, where you're sort of realizing, and this is really the core of it, you're realizing, one, where it is that you decide who's going to be in your life or not. That's huge. Number two, where it is that you insist on being loved in a friendship, platonic sense. You insist on being loved for who you are as an individual, rather than just because you qualify for a certain type of membership. It's about you deciding who you are and wanting a much more honest and genuine experience where it comes to matters of friendship. So with that sense of clarity and with that sense of self-knowledge, you will find yourself all around this month. It's about, just on a psychological level, taking leaps up that ladder. It's about growing in maturity. And that maturity ultimately is part of the root of self-respect. It allows you to have that much more compassion for others, but also it allows you to understand that in many ways, there comes a point when your life is your own and your happiness is your own, and that you can decide to change things, to move things around, to consider what it is that you truly need to be happy. And that's going to be a huge part of the lesson these coming months, is understanding much more deeply what you truly need to be happy and ensuring that more and more you are committed to living from that place within you and acting from that place of self-knowledge and self-love.